Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island. Y'all ready to shoot five? It's your boy Big June.
Hey, yo, what's good, people? This your boy, Castor Troy. I want to introduce another Brooklyn author that we have on the show today. His name is Domingo Beltran.
What's up? What's up? Good to be here. Good to be here.
So, Domingo, why don't you let the people know, where they can find you at on your social media right now?
All right, on Instagram, I'm Justin Be Great. I'm Justin Be Great on everything, actually. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Domingo Beltran. That's JUSTINBGREAT.
All right. So we want to welcome you to the show, and want to let the audience and the people know a little something about yourself. Besides, a couple of things. I heard you wrote a book. You like me, and want to know what's going on with that.
Hey, well, I got a couple of things. I released a book about a year and a half ago. I also have a web series that came out a year ago. Each of these things are kind of just uplifting people of color, people from the hood. It's different aspects of life on the spectrum that I live. So the book is called Conversations with Sissies. It's documenting what it's like to be a man of color from the hood and also be gay. Because niggas from the hood kind of feel like you can only be one. You got to pick one over the other. You can only be gay or you can only be from the hood. You can't be both. So kind of this book kind of bridges the gap between both of them. And then the show is called The Tribe Called Up, and that's kind of what it's like to be hood but also a professional in the workplace and how you balance both. Like, when I go into a professional environment, I don't want to try to adapt to what they got going on. I don't want people to think, hey, like, who are you? I let people know who I am regardless, and so it's about not compromising who you are no matter what environments you in. Yeah, it's about uplifting the urban professional. That's what that is.
You know what? I commend you for that. And you said spectrum. And so basically you already gave us a little glimpse of what's your world, what you dealing with and all that, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Because at this Hey Shoot 5 Radio, we want to speak the real, nothing but the real for the real. So we feel like, we got to hear everybody's perspective. Because it's the people.
Right.
So, we happy you got a lot of stuff going on for yourself, the web and all that. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that a little bit later. But, just give us a little more of a glimpse of your spectrum.
Right.
All
right. I mean, when I was doing my book, I had a deadline. I had to focus on what I was going to do, what this was going to be about. I gave myself deadlines. I didn't have nobody telling me what to do, how to do it. I learned everything for myself. I got my book in Barnes & Nobles. I did that by myself. I published my book on my own. And originally when I did the book, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I don't care what people think. I'm going to do this, and I thought only like 3 people was going to buy it, but then my shit sold in Australia.
Wow.
So now that make me an international author. But it sold in Australia like 6 different times. And so that's a big deal to me because I'm like, who the fuck know me in Australia?
So that makes you an international author.
Yeah, it makes me an international author.
Your voice. Your voice.
I had read an article online where it was talking. I was trying to say, how can I get my book in Barnes & Nobles like all these other authors? And I read something online where some lady was like, she was just going in Barnes & Nobles and putting her book there and leaving. Like, she wasn't getting paid for it, but she had a barcode on the back, so it didn't matter. They was like, if it has a barcode, it's going to beep when you take it to the register. They're not asking where you got this shit from.
And she made sales like that?
She didn't, but she did it at first just to promote herself, which is what I did.
She paid the way.
Yeah.
She showed initiative.
That's good.
Yeah, but you know what? That's
She's
brilliant.
a hustler.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Okay.
I like that.
So I started doing that.
Right. Let me ask you about the name, Conversations with Sissies. Where did that come from?
Well, it's because, when you were, all right, in the hood, when you grow up from a family of color, where you a Latino, whether you black or whatever, if you're a little kid, you like 5 years old, especially the boys, you cry about something, they're like, stop being a sissy, stop being this. I grew up feeling like,
sissy.
Oh, well, shit, like, you just beat my ass. What you mean I can't cry? That don't make sense to me.
Right.
So this is kind of about changing what the word sissy means. So if I'm a sissy, check it out, you a sissy too, because we all going through the same things. What I do, like, in the house and when my door closed, don't got shit to do with nothing. Like,
I mean, we all cried as youth, you know
exactly.
when we got our ass beat.
Exactly.
So that didn't make me a sissy.
Right, but depending on who you ask. Shit.
True
The
indeed,
fact
true
that,
indeed,
right?
life really sometimes based on the stereotype and perception.
Yeah.
So people kind of, they take that word to a different high, like, oh, you're
Right.
the ultimate, you're sissy. But in reality, they don't understand what the word really is and the concept behind it.
Right.
Or the metaphor, whatever you want to get into. But
Yeah.
you know what? As long as you keep shedding that light and bringing
Yeah.
awareness to it, sound like what
that's
we're
what
doing
we
with
need,
this radio
people like
show.
you
This
to
is
shed
what we
light.
here. This is why, enjoying this conversation so far. I'm going to keep giving you the platform. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I
Carry
mean,
on, man.
yeah.
Do your thing.
But that's really what it's about, kind of bridging the gap between so I just try to encourage healing, right? So whether you are old, white, like there was an old white lady who read my book. She was like 83 years old. She read my shit. She saw me. She was crying, and I'm looking at her like, I didn't know what to do.
You
I'm
made
like,
an impact.
Yeah, I'm like I didn't know what to do. But she was like, thank you so much. Like the world needs to hear this. Like this is something.
You know,
like
it's crazy, right? Like, but like me, I come out, so I tell people, I wrote a book. So I guess like the thuggery image, whatever the case might stereotype they got from me already. That, you wrote a book?
Yeah.
So then you ask some people that they read it. Did you write this? Did you somebody help you? I'm like, listen, I never used the number 2 pencil for a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Unless I had to. I actually went to school and did everything else like a regular kid. But, some people are already stuck on that stigmatism and just like, oh, you know what? He couldn't do this. Nah, not him. Yeah, him. Yeah, he did that. Yeah. And sometimes you got to give that person they do.
And that's
commend
true.
them.
Because before I did the book, that lady just viewed me as some little Latin boy from Brooklyn. They was like, oh, look how he talk. Like, they just looked at me like, oh, yeah, he's there. But then I did that, and they was like, wait, who? You? How? Where that came from? Wait, I never even knew that was possible. Like, it was like that. And I'm like, damn.
Why isn't it possible? Why we couldn't do it? I'm like, listen, I deal with that all the time, so I know. But it's just like, you know what? It fuels me. I'll be like, listen, I got another book in the way. I got this going on. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing this.
When you get those reactions, it makes you feel like, this is why I got to keep doing it.
Exactly.
And when I did my show, like the second episode of our docuseries, A Tribe Called Up, we interviewed my homegirl.
Hold on. I don't want to cut you off. We're going to get to that real quick. I still have some more questions about the book, though. All right. So for the listeners out there right now and people that are not aware, tell them Domingo's definition of a sissy. Straight up. Let the people hear it.
I mean, okay, so I use the word sissy because that's what people use to describe somebody who's weaker or who's, broken or whatever. But I just use that word because that's what it means to people. That's what it means to society. But I wanted to change that. I wanted to kind of like put a mirror up to people. So if I'm a sissy, you a sissy. We go through the same shit, right? So now, if we all sissies, then what's your definition of a sissy? Right. That's kind of how I
hear that, people.
So,
what's your definition? Hold on 1 second. I don't want to cut you off either, brother. What's your definition of a sissy? You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows where the reach is at. My Instagram is caster_Troy.
No, listen. Forget about that.
Hold on. I want to hear that. I want to hear the
substance of what he's talking behind that. We can introduce ourselves later. Listen, he put meaning behind what he's talking about. So when you define a sissy, you have to actually define it because he has. So now, what do you go? What do you say? This is what we want to talk about. We can always introduce ourselves later. Yeah, I'm underscore this.
I'm not introducing myself. I want to hear their feedback
right now,
on it.
Listen, we'll use this. This is the platform for him to expect and to let the subjects, audience know.
But if the
right
people
now,
have an opinion, you contact either one of us to let you know what your thought process is.
So let's proceed.
Written the book, so, web series?
Yeah.
Okay,
but a little bit more with the sissy part. Like, if people also say, okay, sissy mean to be a pussy or whatever it is, but I still get called a sissy, but, I done got into fights and I done been arrested for certain things and got beat by the police and I done been wanted for hitting people with bottles and stuff. We should take that part out. But I have done things to kind of negate what a sissy means, right? And because I'm gay, somebody will automatically say you're a sissy. So the point of the book is to kind of dispel that, to break that down. Like,
yeah, but at the same time, it's really like a no-win situation if you look at it. Yeah. Because if somebody was to listen to this, either way, the next person who hasn't, still not gonna have that same opinion, like regardless. So I guess you would have to keep proving it over and over.
No, I wouldn't prove it over and over, but I would say that a person who would listen to this and still feel like, no, this is what a sissy is a person who is uneducated to what a sissy could be, or what it means in real life. Because if you have somebody who's telling you this is the definition, right, then they are just like perpetuating that more and more. And also, if somebody also keeps pushing that, you have to ask them, why is it so serious to them? Why are you so mad about what a sissy is? Do you think you a sissy?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that in you, right? Because it really don't have shit to do with other people. You can do whatever you want. If I judge you, that kind of is a reflection of me.
Right.
But that's really what it is. That's
but
really
everybody
what it comes
here
down
is judgmental.
Yeah, we all have our own biases.
Personally, deal with the insecurity, but listen, I deal with it all the time, in my job. Whatever. I go in there, I go to every customer with respect. Now, as a man, I want the same respect back.
That's it.
So it doesn't matter whether I was a sissy, ex-con, whatever I was. Yeah. As a person individually, if I give you respect and I show you the respect, it should be automatically. That's something that you should know as you was growing up. Like, man, there's an equity. Like you see some of the stuff that goes on with these kids and all that these days. You know, we talked earlier, no structure. And you know what? It's not a solid structure to a lot of things. But as you go, as I go, as he go, we can't make a difference, but we can try.
We can try. That's what we do.
And we're going to use this platform here.
Definitely.
We're going to shoot the 5. We're going to shoot this breeze.
We're shooting 5 today with Domingo Beltran.
I hope y'all, look into the book, look into the web series.
Conversation with Sissies.
Conversation with Sissies.
Let them know where they can copy the book at.
Let them know.
The book, you could get it from...
Can I just give y'all information because my phone is dying for my viewers, my followers, y'all?
Hey, Domingo Beltran on Facebook. Justin Be Great, Instagram and Twitter.
Caster _ Troy on Instagram and Caster BK Made Troy on Facebook.
And he has his radio station. What is
oh
it
yeah,
called?
we're gonna get to that after he.
But my phone is dying, so I
all
want
right.
my followers to get y'all.
I can find me on Instagram, JUN_LMD 7679. Facebook, the government, Luciano Camacho.
And the radio show is on Spreaker right now at Shoe 5 Radio. Y'all can check us out there. We got 3 shows. This will be the 4th show. Check us out.
Shoe 5.
All right, so let's continue.
So the book is available in the Barnes & Nobles in Union Square. You can go there and they have the book. But you can also get it online in the hood. But it's even worse, like, when I go out into the regular world, because now if I have to go to a job interview or I'm at work or something, they like, wait, either you are ghetto because of the way you speak or the way you talk, your grammar's off or whatever, you got a Brooklyn accent, like, either you ghetto or you gay. We don't
Either
understand.
And
then it kind of gets worse even because, I got a little cow lick, and so they like, what you look like and what we feel from you is 2 different things, and I always kind of have to be frustrated. Like, I kind of have to pick which one I'm going to be, but I think I have a perfect balance of being both. Like, as long as I respect everybody and I articulate myself and I get my point across, I'm professional and all the time. It don't matter who the person is. I treat everybody like they're the same.
It all boils down to you being comfortable in your own skin,
and
bro.
that's
what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
But that's what I encourage. That's what all of this is about, to encourage all the people to do the same thing and respect people the same way. You could be yourself, but just respect people who want to be themselves.
Let the
here in
people
Shoe
know.
5, we respect everybody. We respect everybody for their opinions, whatever it is, religion, sexuality, doesn't matter. You know why? Because as long as it's real for the real, it's by the real for the people. And that's what here at Shoe 5, that's what we about.
So what kind of like the word I'm looking for, help me out here, guys. Like, what kind of adversities you came across?
Your trials and tribulations?
Yeah, coming, as a gay man in America, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like in regular life or in
general, yeah.
Well,
regular life.
Say, have you ever felt like being the fact because you was a gay man, that was what this incident or this situation was about?
I mean, well, yeah, like, I got into a lot of fights because I was gay.
Right.
And so it's like...
So people teased you.
But yeah, teased me, like, when I was younger, since my name is Domingo, they used to say Domingay.
Oh, okay. Right.
And at first, I used to be like, I used to just be like, whatever. I probably got into a point where I was like, all right, I'm not being disrespected no more. Like, I'm not being disrespected no more. You get pushed.
Hold yourself down.
I didn't go and shoot up no schools, but if somebody smacked me, they was getting smacked back.
Right.
And that's
you got to get your respect somehow, some way. You know what I mean? Nobody could be going out there disrespecting people and bullying people and making fun of people because of their sexuality or their race, their color, whatever it is. You know
and it's also about kind of like, it depends on the type of environment you in. Because, like, in a hood environment, if somebody disrespect me, I could be hood back, right? But in a work environment, I can't smack a lady who call me a gay name or a spick or something. Right. I can't smack them.
Let's take it up a little notch further, right? Because this isn't Shoe 5. This is Shoe 5 after all. Listen, I know, because it's been a couple of times where I had, gay men's looking at me, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot of homo thug. Is that a myth or is that the truth?
No, that's a real thing.
That's the real thing.
See,
I know it is.
All right. The thing about being gay is that gay only means that you're a man who sleeps with other men. If you're a man who's attracted to other men, that don't make you gay because you're not doing that. You got your girl, you mind your business. Like, yeah, you could say, oh, he cute, but, I'm straight. That's not a homo thug. A homo thug is a nigga who knows he like who's out here fucking niggas and not telling people, but also